Good evening, children. This is my fourth video on our lesson Organisms and Populations. In the previous video, I explained the topic Life History Variation. Under this, Reproductive Fitness or Darwinian Fitness. After that, the factors on which reproductive fitness depends upon. And then we started with population interactions or biotic factors of the environment. Now, just to revise briefly, population interactions are of two types: negative interactions and positive interactions. So, in your syllabus, under negative interactions, we have four headings to be discussed: predation, this I completed last time; parasitism, this is also done; third is competition, which we'll do today; and fourth, aminalism, this was also completed, right? So just to brief you once again, under predation, children, there was another important topic last time, that was adaptation in organisms to avoid predation, and this was discussed under animal category and the plant category, different types of defense mechanisms. Then under parasitism, we discussed about ectoparasites and endoparasites, and also about brood parasitism or the social parasitism. So that was over last time. And then aminalism or antibiosis, right? So this was given by various examples discussed already. Now today we will start with our fourth type of negative interaction amongst the population, and we call it as competition. Now competition, yes, it is a simple word to understand, but biologically, when we talk of a relationship or an interaction, then this involves struggle amongst organisms for the same resources like water, nutrients, space, food, sunlight, etc. Right? Competition is basically of two types. The first is called as intraspecific. Intraspecific means within the same species, whereas the other is interspecific, which means between two or more populations belonging to the same trophic level, right? So intraspecific is also called as intranecine, whereas interspecific is also called as internecine. All right. So if we move with the details, let us start today with the details further about competition. Once again, competition means there are two organisms which are going to compete for water, nutrients, space, sunlight, food, etc. When we talk of intraspecific, this type of competition is more acute than the interspecific. That means when the population is within the same species itself, right, for the basic requirements, then it is more acute. Why? Because the members have not only just the basic requirements, but they have similar body structures. This you'll understand by a very simple example, right? Like suppose in an experiment which was done on flour beetles, right, wheat flour, the beetles were kept in pairs of 1, 8, 40 and 80. And surprisingly, the eggs produced showed a corresponding decrease in the number. For example, the ones that were kept in one pair produced 10 eggs, those that were kept in 8 pairs produced 6, those kept in 40 pairs produced only 2 eggs, and those kept in 80 pairs, they produced 1 egg only. So when the individuals are increasing, why are the eggs decreasing? This clearly shows a sense of intraspecific competition. All right, intraspecific competition controls the size of population through the decrease in birth rate and also increase in the death rate. So this is the reason, children, why through a very simple experiment, this is the beetle number and this is the egg number. Then coming to the other type where we talk of interspecific competition, in this type of competition, two or more populations belonging to the same trophic level, that is when their feeding habit is same, They compete with one another for sunlight, nutrients, water, pollinators, and dispersal agents. Let us talk about carnivorous animals. For example, tigers and leopards. We know that they compete for the same prey, right? So in this, what happens? Individuals of different species adapt themselves differently to survive and obtain the same resources. All right. In case the resource is in short supply, the superior individuals, they will exclude or eliminate the inferior one. So remember, children, the superiority wins, and this is what is the base of the interspecific competition. Now, on the same note, we have another type of competition which is seen in some examples. Let's come to this now. There is another type of competition called as interference. To interfere, we understand the meaning, right? So what does it mean to interfere in somebody's work or lifestyle, etc.? So in this type of competition, the feeding efficiency of one species is reduced due to interfering and inhibitory presence of the other species, even if the food and space are abundant. So this is like we can say a type of a jealous relationship, right? When the food is abundant, space is abundant, then what is the competition for? But still, the efficiency of feeding of one is reduced due to interference and inhibitory presence of the other. So this type of interference in competition or interference in the lifestyle, right, is called as interference competition. Coming next is a hypothesis. We call it as Gauss's hypothesis of principle of competitive exclusion, right? So Gauss's hypothesis, it was given in 1834. It's a very interesting one. I've just tried to explain this by means of simple diagrams. Let us understand it one by one, right? So the hypothesis begins with the discussion about Gauss's experiment, which was on ciliates. Ciliates means the protozoans which have cilia around the body, right? So the organism was Paramecium caudatum and Paramecium aurelia, right? Now what he did was he grew separate cultures of Paramecium caudatum and Paramecium aurelia. And what he saw was a very normal growth and maintenance of a constant population. That means when two organisms were grown separately in different separate cultures, there was no problem. But when they were grown in the same culture vessel, here see they were separately, but here when they were grown in the same culture vessel, now what happened? Paramecium caudatum, right, it got eliminated. That means aurelia was the one that survived, but caudatum was eliminated or removed because it could not face the competition. So why was this elimination? Because one of the competing species will sustain and the other will not survive. So this is the hypothesis that we are going to talk. Remember children, out of two competing species, only one will survive, right? The other will be eliminated. Just how we saw. See, remember the cross that I have made is not wrong children, but just to tell you that this is getting eliminated. All right. Another example if we talk here is Daphnia. Now what is Daphnia? It is a water flea, a small crustacean. See, I have written the meaning. It's a small crustacean which lives in fresh waters like ponds, lakes, etc. And it is used as food for the fish, right? So similar experiment was done on Daphnia. And what was it seen? That two species, Daphnia pulicaria and Daphnia magna, when once again like Paramecium, they were grown together in a mixed culture, then which one got eliminated? Yes, it was Daphnia magna, and Pulicaria was there sustaining and surviving easily, but the one eliminated was magna. So what does this clearly see? We clearly support the idea that out of two competing species, only one is going to survive. Then let us further move with some more experiments, and here we'll talk about an experiment that was done in the year 1974 by Crombie. Let's see here. So this experiment, it demonstrated let's say an experiment on two species of beetles which were grown in flour, that is wheat flour once again, right? And the species were Tribolium and Oryzophilus. Once again, two species of beetles called Tribolium and Oryzophilus. They were grown together in the wheat flour in a common culture. Now what was seen was that Tribolium was found to destroy the immature forms of Oryzophilus. So once again, competitive elimination you can see, right? But when both the populations were separated like this, in another setup, when they were grown together, one was eliminated. But when they were grown together with glass partitions or glass plates between them, one side Tribolium and the other side Oryzophilus, then the results were that both survived. So what we can see is, yes, the competitive exclusion is clearly seen that one eliminates the other when grown together, but when separate, both are thriving or living easily and comfortably. Another experiment was by Abingdon, right? And the experiment was done on a research, we can say, on Galapagos Islands, where it was studied that within a 10 years time after introduction of goats on the island, let's say within a time of like a decade of period, the goats were introduced on the island and tortoise became extinct. Why did this happen? This happened because of the browsing efficiency of the goats. So once again, tortoise became extinct just after 10 years time of the goats that were introduced on the island. Then coming to another topic. See, till now let us discuss, because I am coming to a new thing now. Today I have started from competition. First I started with the definition, the two types, intraspecific and interspecific. After this, I told you about the details about intraspecific and interspecific, and this one is more acute. Why? Because this is arising within the same species, all right? And I told you an experiment on the beetles and the decreasing number of eggs. Then interference competition. After that, Gauss's hypothesis of principle of competitive exclusion. Various examples we are still processing with. We studied Paramecium, then we studied Daphnia, Tribolium and Oryzophilus, and now goats and tortoise. Coming to yet another thing in competition is a term what we call as competitive release. Now this is another interesting thing. In the rocky sea coast of Scotland, see, I've just tried to explain. This is the sea coast of Scotland, and that was a rocky area. Connell found, the scientist who found this was Connell. He found that superior Balanus nearly eliminated the smaller barnacle called as Thalamus, right? Thalamus it is. So what is a barnacle? A marine crustacean that attaches permanently to surface and feeds by filtering particles from the water. So this elimination, now see, this is the superior and these are the smaller ones getting eliminated. But what it was seen that, now because this is gaining dominance over these and eliminating them, so it was observed that if the population of Balanus is reduced, right, then the competition between them is released and Thalamus increases in the number. So this is, you can just imagine like a pair of friends, right? One cannot see the other, right? Or two gangs, we can say. One is trying to be dominant. So if the members of this are decreased, then normally the competition will be released and these will gain in number. So this is what we call as the competitive release, and that's the last thing under the competition. So this is all for today, children. Once again, very important terms that you have to understand for your examinations are intra and interspecific competitions, then interference competition. Gauss's hypothesis is always asked, children. It's a very important question. Always explain with the help of examples, children. You have many examples. Paramecium, then Daphnia, or the beetles here, and here tortoise, goats, etc. But this competitive release is only with the example of barnacles, right? So that's all for just now. Tomorrow I'll be uploading another relationship. We have only 2 relationships to go. The 4th one we have done today, right? So that completes 4 out of 6 relationships. We have completed predation, parasitism, and aminalism last time. Today I have only done with competition. Tomorrow I'll upload on commensalism and mutualism. So this is the last topic on the lesson, and with that the videos that will be uploaded, maybe 2 more. After that we'll end this lesson. Any queries, please ask on the group, right? And please try to submit your practicals just for the announcements made on the group and submit it at the places allotted. Thank you.